Player thought they could fly. Player discovered the meaning of defenestration. Player tried to ice skate uphill. Player left a crater. Player didn't bounce. Player forgot their happy thought. Player invented gravity. Player was free fallen. Player's neck was snapped by offender. Player was brutally dissected by offender. Player was shredded to bits by offender. Player was put in glass coffin by offender. Player was eviscerated by offender. Player was sent to the farm by offender. Player was ganked by offender. Player was pressed into a succulent pulp by offender. Player was sent to Akram's house by offender. Player had their head removed by offender. Player had their brain turned into jam by offender. Player got murked by offender. Player got rubbed out by offender. Player forgot to bring a towel. Player was removed from world by offender. Player was blended into a zetsy sauce by offender. Player likes to play in magma. Player's legs appeared where their head should be. Player ascend going above world border and get fixed boy or don't dig up. Player was put into orbit going above world border. Player became an astronaut going above world border. Player was slain. Player was eviscerated. Player was murdered. Player's face was torn off. Player's entrails were ripped out. Player was destroyed. Player's skull was crushed. Player got massacred. Player got impaled. Player was torn in half. Player was decapitated. Player let their arms get torn off. Player watched their innards become outards. Player was brutally dissected. Player's extremities were detached. Player's body was mangled. Player's vital organs were ruptured. Player was turned into a pile of flesh. Player was removed from world. Player got snapped in half. Player was cut down the middle. Player was chopped up. Player's plea for death was answered. Player's meat was ripped off the bone. Player's flailing about was finally stopped. Player had their head removed. Player lost her head. Player fell victim of gravity. Player face planted to the ground. Player left a small crater. Player forgot to breathe. Player is sleeping with the fish. Player drowned. Player is shark food. Player got melted. Player was incinerated. Player tried to swim in lava. Player likes to play in magma. Player couldn't put the fire out. Player couldn't find the antidote. Player couldn't breathe. Player couldn't contain the watts. Player shattered into pieces. Player can't be put back together again. Player needs to be swept up. Player just became another dirt pile. Player didn't materialize. Player was licked. Player tried to escape. Player was slain. Player was stabbed.